I just want peace. Have you said that? Maybe this year, maybe this week, maybe tonight. In a world that feels like it's falling apart, with the news, with your health, with your relationships, with that thing you can't stop worrying about. You just want peace. And the world has an answer for you. It tells you peace is the absence of conflict. Peace is when the fighting stops. Peace is a quiet afternoon, a vacation, a deep breath, a paycheck, a clean bill of health. The world's peace is a fragile thing. It depends entirely on your circumstances holding together. But the Bible has a word for peace that means something completely different. A word so rich, so deep, so comprehensive, that English has no equivalent for it. And when you understand what it actually means, you'll realize that the peace the world promises isn't peace at all, and the peace God gives is something you can have even when everything around you is falling apart. The word is shalom, and it's not what you think. You've heard shalom. It's the Hebrew word for hello and goodbye. People toss it around. Shalom, friend. But that's like using the word ocean to describe a puddle. Shalom comes from the Hebrew root shalom, which means to be complete, to be whole, to be finished, to be sound, and shalom carries all of that. It's not just the absence of war. It's the presence of wholeness. Nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing out of place. Picture a garment with no tear, a body with no wound, a life with no lack, a soul with no fracture. That's shalom. The ancient rabbis said that shalom is the one word that describes the world as God intended it to be, before sin, before brokenness, before everything fell apart. Complete, whole, at rest. Nothing missing. Nothing broken. That's what God's peace actually is. In Numbers chapter 6, God tells Aaron to bless the people with the most famous blessing in the Bible, the priestly blessing. You've heard it 100 times at the end of church services. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And the Hebrew word for that final word, peace, is shalom. Give you shalom. But notice what the blessing builds toward. It's not give you a quiet afternoon. It's the face of God shining on you. It's his graciousness. It's his presence. And out of all of that comes shalom, wholeness that only comes from being in the presence of the one who holds everything together. The priests weren't wishing people a good day. They were declaring, "May the God who is whole make you whole." And here's what that means for you. God's peace is not a feeling you can manufacture. It's not a state you can meditate your way into. It's a gift that flows from his presence. Shalom is what happens when the God of wholeness touches your brokenness. In John chapter 14, Jesus is hours away from being arrested. He knows exactly what's coming. Torture, betrayal, abandonment, a cross. His disciples are terrified. Their world is about to collapse. And this is what Jesus says to them. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid. Not as the world gives. The world's peace depends on circumstances. It evaporates the moment the storm hits. But Jesus says, I'm giving you my shalom, the wholeness that comes from being connected to me. And it doesn't depend on what's happening around you. He didn't give them a quiet evening. He gave them himself. And himself is shalom. 3 chapters later, in John 16, Jesus says something even more shocking. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Think about what he's promising. Not peace instead of trouble. Peace in trouble. The disciples were about to watch him die, and he's telling them they can have wholeness in the middle of it. Because shalom isn't the absence of the storm. It's the presence of the one who calms it. Psalm 85 paints one of the most beautiful pictures in all of Scripture. It says, Hesed and truth meet together. Righteousness and shalom kiss each other. Hesed and shalom. The two words we've been studying together. God's faithful covenant love and His wholeness. Meeting. Kissing. You see the connection now. Because God is hesed. Faithful, covenant-keeping. His love doesn't depend on your performance. You can have shalom, His wholeness, His peace. The reason you don't have to be anxious is not because everything is fine. It's because the God who is faithful is holding everything. And when the faithful one is in control, your wholeness doesn't depend on your circumstances. That's the gospel in two Hebrew words. Hesed, He is faithful. Shalom, therefore, you can be whole, even in the middle of the storm. So let me ask you the question I started with. You said you just want peace. What kind of peace were you asking for? If you're asking for the world's peace, the absence of trouble, I can't promise you that. Jesus was honest. In this world you will have trouble. The storm will come. The diagnosis will come. The heartbreak will come. The world's peace was never on the table. But if you're asking for shalom, the wholeness that comes from being held by the God who is faithful, that's not only possible, it's already yours. Jesus said, "My peace I give to you." Not, "I'll give it to you when your life calms down." Not when you fix your marriage. Not when you get your finances together. He said, "I give it to you." Now, shalom is not the reward for a peaceful life. It's the anchor for a stormy one. Tonight, if you're lying awake with a mind that won't stop, if the worry is circling and the peace feels impossible, here's what I want you to do. Stop trying to fix your circumstances to get peace. That's the world's way, and it never ends, because life never stops breaking. Instead, turn to the Son who is shalom. Say this, "Lord, my circumstances are not whole, but you are, and you said you give me your peace. So I receive it, not because everything is okay, but because you are. Because that's the difference between the world's peace and God's shalom. The world's peace is a lake when the wind stops. God's shalom is a boat that doesn't sink when the wind rages, because the one in the boat is the one who commands the wind. In the last video, we saw that God's love is hesed, faithful, covenant-keeping, holding you no matter what. And here's the beautiful thing. His faithfulness is the reason for your wholeness. Because He never lets go, you never have to fall apart. The same God who said, "Hesed endures forever," is the same God who gives you shalom. His love holds you. His peace fills you. Nothing missing. Nothing broken. If this word changed how you think about peace, hit subscribe. Every week, we open the Word and show you what the original languages actually say. No cliches. No shallow comfort. Just the God who is whole, making you whole. And if you know someone who's been chasing the world's peace and coming up empty, send this to them. Tell them the peace they're looking for isn't a feeling. It's a person, and He's already given it. Shalom, nothing missing, nothing broken.